We spend years learning fundamental skills like how to read, how to write, even just how to hold a pencil. But what if I told you that for one of the most important skills we have, communication, most of us have been holding the pencil all wrong our entire lives? Okay, so take a look at this. On the left, you've got that tight, controlling writing grip we all learned in school. It's all about precision and control. But on the right, that's the artist's grip. It's looser, it's more confident, it uses the whole arm. So here's the big question. What if the real secret to better conversations isn't about finding the perfect words, but about changing how you hold the conversation itself? So today we're going to walk through a masterclass to do just that. First, we'll look at why we're all holding the pencil wrong. Then we'll learn the artist's grip. After that, we'll practice with our very own communication line zoo, apply it to real-life canvases, and finally, talk about why the first sketch matters more than you think.
All right, let's start with the problem. Because just like we were all taught to clutch a pencil for dear life to write our letters, we've kind of been conditioned to walk into tough conversations with a grip that's all about control. And honestly, it sets us up to fail before we even say a word.
Just look at the description here for the writing grip. Fingers control, cramps, and this is the key, every line towards you. Wow. That's a perfect metaphor for how we handle conflict, isn't it? We get tense, we try to control every little detail, and we pull the whole conversation inward until it's all about us and our point of view.
And this is what happens. It's probably pretty familiar. When we hold a conversation that tightly, it almost always leads to defensiveness and arguments. It is so mentally exhausting. And pretty soon, you're not even talking about the original issue anymore, you're just twisting things around. All because you're so focused on that one single controlling outcome, being right. Okay, so if that old way is broken, what's the fix? Well, it's not a small tweak, it's a total paradigm shift. It's about letting go, changing our grip entirely, and moving our whole mindset away from control and towards connection. And this is what we're aiming for, the artist's grip. See, it's not just about your fingers, or, in this case, just your words. It's about engaging your whole self. It's a way looser, much more confident approach, where the goal isn't to perfectly control the line, but to actually understand the canvas you're working on. So here's where it all changes. It's about shifting your goal. On the left, you've got the old way, winning an argument. That's a battle. It creates defensiveness, and it usually breaks the connection. But on the right, that's the new goal, unraveling a knot. That's not a battle, it's a mission to understand. It invites curiosity, and it builds connection.
And this quote right here, this is everything. It is the absolute heart of the artist's grip. The second you realize that the person across from you isn't your enemy, that they're just fighting desperately to feel heard and understood by you, the whole game changes. You stop fighting them and you start working with them.
Okay, so the mindset makes sense. But how do we actually do it? An artist doesn't just wake up and paint a masterpiece. They do warm-ups, they practice their craft. And that's what we're going to do now. Think of it like this, line zoo. An artist has to practice all kinds of lines, thick ones, thin ones, curves, spirals. And look at the caption, it's perfect. No wrong answers, just get moving. That's exactly how we need to approach these communication skills. It's not about being perfect, it's just about practicing different moves. So here are 3 fundamental lines for you to practice. Number 1, the breath. Seriously, when things get tense, your breath is your first word. It creates a pause, it centers you. Number 2, the accuracy check. Just ask, what did you hear me say? This one question can stop a huge misunderstanding in its tracks. And number 3, validation. This is your line of connection. Saying something like, I can see why you feel that way, doesn't mean you agree. It just means you're listening. And that is a game changer.
Now for the really fun part. Let's take this new grip and these new lines we're practicing, and let's see how they actually work on the real-life canvases of our lives.
So let's say the canvas is your partner. You're feeling triggered. Instead of lashing out, you use the breath to slow down, and then you use validation to fix that broken connection. Or what about your parents? You feel like they're judging you. Remember, that judgment is often just a clumsy way of showing they care, so you respond to the value underneath it. I can tell my well-being is really important to you. And a colleague who keeps interrupting, you don't have to get aggressive. You just calmly state a boundary. I absolutely will listen to you right after I'm finished.
So as we start to wrap this up, there is one last, really crucial idea I want to leave you with. This is not about becoming a perfect communicator overnight. It's about finding the courage to just start sketching. This quote from that drawing guide is so powerful. Your first few tries with this new artist's grip are probably going to feel clumsy. They might be a little shaky. And that is not only okay, it's literally the whole point. The goal isn't a masterpiece conversation on your first go. The goal is just to get your hand moving, to try something new.
You know, every tough conversation can feel like you're just staring at a terrifyingly blank page. The fear of messing it up can be paralyzing. But this new approach, this new grip, it gives you permission to be imperfect. It's all about being brave enough to just pick up that pencil and draw the very first line.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. What's the next challenging conversation you know you need to have? Instead of bracing for a fight, what's the first line you can draw with this new, more confident grip? What's the first notch you can begin to unravel?